Bro, it's funny because like I rarely drink, and drinking 1.5 drinks as I did last night, I felt like pretty hungover this morning. It was crazy. We're live, by the way, man. If we wanted to get started before Alex, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, hey.
What's up? There he is, Dean David. What's up, buddy?
Hey, hello. How's it going?
Hello, the aggressively chill kid, or half of the duo. Alex is parking his car. But
Here's
what's
gonna
up,
happen.
man?
Here's what's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
Alex is gonna walk in, and he's gonna be so apologetic.
On time though, compared to when he said, because he said 5 minutes.
I think he'll be relatively to the time that he said he'd be here.
Right, but he's 1 minute late as of now.
Is he?
It's 5:31.
You're so punctual.
I mean, only because I live here, dude. Like,
yeah.
I wasn't gonna be late, you know. You and I were chilling last night. We started at Village Idiot, and then we were walking around for a little bit.
Yeah,
Went
you
to
were
a
hosting.
comedy shop. I was hosting. Yes, bro.
How did you like hosting?
I love that show, man.
Yeah.
It's just such a different environment compared to any other show that I've really done in New York.
Yeah.
And, I mean, anywhere in general. Like, been in LA, Miami type. Like, it's so unique, you know.
Yeah, the
love
room is
it.
tricky because it's like half of one room
Really
is
have
like
to grab the attention of the room, I feel like.
yeah, and like it's not really designed for it, but that's a good challenge. But I feel like it's tricky.
Totally, yeah.
But either way,
A good challenge. But what's going on with you besides freaking going to the cellar until 2 a.m. last night on a Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going where the night took me, dude.
Where do you live?
I live in Queens,
What part of Queens?
Sunnyside, Queens.
Oh, fuck, dude. That's the third time you've
I
told
know.
me. And
Yeah,
then that's the
yesterday-
third time I remembered it.
Well, no,
Kinda.
you didn't remember it this time.
You're right, I have.
Yesterday, you remembered.
I did.
And I was
This
like,
time
wow,
I didn't.
again.
I spent some time out in Sunnyside, which I've told you before when I used to work at a real estate company. I took the 7 train out to 42nd Street.
Am I? Whoa.
On cue.
Yeah. I was about to say,
Where's she?
I live
Alex Pischera
Alex
in the
Pischera.
friggin' mix. What's up? Audemars.
with his little reptar
If I
thing.
can have you take off your shoes really quick.
Yeah, you gotta take your shoes
and
off.
then pop in over here. We got
Ted
started
Jones wants you to take
a
your
little bit
shoes
before.
off.
Yeah, man. I feel like it's psycho for people that don't take their shoes off. And if you're listening and you don't, guys, there's no reason why you wouldn't take your shoes off.
Why do you think
know?
it's so important people take their shoes off?
Because your shoes are freaking hooves that you wear on the street.
Hooves?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Horses. Audemars, what's good, son? Good to see
Hey,
you.
what's up?
L'chaim Shalom. We're live.
What's up? What's up? Sorry,
And
I'm
here
late.
he is. All good.
Hey,
no
Pischera's
worries.
in the house.
Yeah.
I was looking for a place to run a show because I was barking a lot for people, and then it kind of led me to the St. Mark's V Spot when it was called V Spot. And like I asked if I could run a show, and they told me like you have to run it with somebody, which I didn't even really like. I'm so stupid. This is a reoccurring problem in my life. Like I never really consider anything like as an option. Like I was always just running shows alone because it just didn't occur to me like I could ask somebody to do it with me. And so then they were like, ask someone to run it with you. I was like, okay. And I was like, who should I ask? And I just thought Alex. And then it was Alex. And then we've been running the show.
And it was the V spot?
It was at V
first.
Spot.
It was first at V Spot. It was a monthly. We got some success. You know, it was pretty good, but it was only a monthly, so that made it like kind of hard to get traction, like just like consistently. Then we moved over to this place called Cherry Tree in Brooklyn, and then the pandemic happened, and Cherry Tree in Brooklyn is no longer a business.
Did you guys, but you lived in Sunnyside during the pandemic?
No, in the pandemic, I lived in a like friend of mine's house. Like she was,
Oh yeah,
she's like rich
yeah, she is.
and like well off, and
She's connected to the comedy world too. Actually,
So and Alex knows her, and
what does that mean?
it means that you guys have been in a
Friendship.
kind of place, yeah, an attitude. You know, when you guys see each other, it's when I see her, it's like hey, yeah.
She's a very attractive lady. She is. She's very attractive.
But so,
What's up?
but so she let me. I used to live with my mom and my older brother.
Yeah.
and
For like all of his life,
yeah.
up until he was like 24.
25.
Yeah.
And my brother and I don't get along. It's like really, he's abusive, long story, just awful. Like did everything I could to not be home in the pandemic. I mean,
he
all
older
my
than you?
life. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
5 years older.
We both have crazy brothers.
Yeah.
We have a lot of similarities. We gel because our dads are both gone. So my dad died when I was super young. His dad left him when he was like 3.
And then he died when I was 15.
Right. He's
Thank
dead.
God,
Yeah, thank God.
I'll explain why I think.
And then,
Yeah,
and then his brother is abusive, crazy, like weirdo. My brother's heroin addict. Haven't seen him in years. So we have very like similar weird family.
So where is your brother right now?
He's on the West Coast. That's as far as I know. Last time I heard from him was during COVID, right? Like the summer after it hit. He goes through phones like fucking toilet paper. Like I don't know his number anymore.
Does
because
he deal drugs or?
no, like I mean, like I'm sure he has, but he's not. That's not what his game was. He fell into heroin pretty hard, like injecting heroin. So he was kicked out of my mom's house. You know, because
When was that?
Ooh, that was like 10 years ago now.
And he's older than you, or?
Oh yeah. He's 34 now. He's 34. I'm turning 31. So
Were you guys ever close before
Yeah.
he left?
yeah, I mean, we were brothers. We were close. We're very similar too. I always liked my brother a lot, but you know, as time went on, when I went to college, he went so downhill, man. He didn't even graduate high school because he got kicked out for some dumb shit, smoking a cigarette in the locker room. So stupid. And he went to a Catholic school. So then when he got kicked out of that, he like just fell heavy into drinking and drugs, and then got his GED, but like never made that work. And ever since then, man, he's just been like on a downward spiral. It's pretty brutal, actually.
And you haven't reached out to him?
Oh, we have. Yeah. I mean, I've reached out to him many times where I gave him money. Even when I had like no money, I used to give him money consistently, but he would just disappear for months at a time. And then I'd get a random call from a random number and it would be him. And we'd talk and connect and just try. And I'd be like, hey man, you like maybe applying for jobs, trying to get like, you know, anything, like get a job at fucking a supermarket, Starbucks, something, like, you know, cause I knew he was fucked basically. And, you know, he always said he was going to do it, never did it. And then, yeah, I just kind of stopped getting those calls. And now we have no idea how to contact him. So, like.
And the last time you spoke to him was during the pandemic?
It was the summer of 2020. Yeah.
But do you know where, like, he is alive?
We know
or?
we're pretty sure he's not, like, dead because me and my mom, I mean, my mom's heartbroken over it. Me and my mom checked police reports and stuff like that for his name and stuff. So we haven't seen anything. And we've contacted the LAPD and. No, yeah, nothing. Yeah. And they say, you know, we talked about private investigators and they say, yeah, the odds of finding someone in the tent city are like super low. Like they were like, you could try, well, here's what we do. And then like they quoted us like $20,000 for like basically handing out flyers. Like, so we were like, that's
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah. Sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know why I brought this up.
No, please. No. That, I mean, that's the stuff we all want to hear, you know, like people who have siblings or family members that are struggling with drugs. It's always
brutal,
I don't
man.
want to say refreshing to hear that other people struggle with the same thing, but it's always
I do feel like it's good to normalize talking about it because a lot of times people like hide the family shit.
And bro, so many people have addictions, man.
Right.
Come on. Like I'm addicted to weed. I'm saying,
oh yeah,
like, I smoke that shit every
Me
day.
too.
I enjoy doing it. You're addicted to cigarettes too, are you not?
Absolutely.
So like we all have our vices as humans, and I think to normalize talking about addictions more, if it really affects your life, that's what we got to do. You know, if it's something that you can have under control and be like, all right, I don't want to do this right now, that's a different story than somebody who can't help themselves.
Right.
It's crazy how many people are unable to help themselves or get themselves out of the rut.
Especially during the pandemic, the drug overdoses are up crazy. It's one of the leading causes of death in like men under 65 or something like that. It's just people like overdosing on drugs and living in tent cities. I mean, I don't know if you've been down there.
The last time I was out in LA, I mean,
It's
I
crazy.
to see like tents for hundreds of feet.
Whole communities,
Thousands of feet rather.
Yeah, they have like bathrooms and everything. Like I know that sounds like nothing, but like they have like barter systems and like it's a whole group of people. Like it's not just like a couple of hundred folks. It's like thousands, if not tens of thousands of people down there, which is wild. Yeah, and your brother, man, what's he up to? I haven't even gotten an update from you.
Oh, I don't know.
We're pretty sure he's like mentally ill, right? Like
I don't even want to say that. He was bullied a lot. Like it's like kind of unfair in comparison to my life to his. I can see why he wouldn't like me. Like
Wouldn't?
yeah, like dude, he was bullied so much. I was like not like I was kind of bullied like by some people, but like mainly I had a lot of friends and people liked me and stuff. And like he was really like he was like that guy that got beaten for being ugly. Like for
oh, geez, really?
yeah, like they just didn't like him because he was a weird guy. Our mom had to like talk to the whole class to be like be nice to him. It's like brutal.
I feel like that doesn't work.
Yeah, and then he was just at home. he got older and he got like scary looking and aggressive and like knives and stuff and like violence. But all this to say that during the pandemic, I could not live there because you asked where I was living. That's how this whole thing began. I lived in this girl's house because she was well off. And she was my friend. And so she was leaving. So she let me live in her home in Williamsburg.
Brooklyn, like beautiful apartment.
Is it like a townhome or like apartment?
It was like a two-bedroom,
like a two-bedroom
to myself
apartment.
with two cute, beautiful little doggies.
Yeah.
And a woman who just lived with me for 3 days who we kind of hooked up. And
Yeah.
never saw her again.
Dino Pipes.
Never saw her
That's
again.
where it's probably fucking
where it's
from,
coming
dog.
from.
Literally,
dude.
she just came. I was sitting on the
DP.
dude. It was unbelievable. I was sitting on the couch in this home, and I'm like, wow, this is already very much like a fortunate thing. I'm just here.
That's fortunate.
And then opening the door as a girl, and then it's like, oh, I guess are you here to fuck me? Because we fucked.
Free room and board.
Yeah.
Free room and
And then he
head.
finally moved out on his own.
Yeah, then I could never go back to the life I had. I was like, I could now that I experienced living alone for 9 months, and I was like, oh my god, there's no way back. I can't go back to this life.
I will say, man, that sharing your bathroom with another dude is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like consistently throughout my life. I was
Especially when
doing
he
it.
beats you with knives and shit. Like,
Absolutely. And his pubes are all over the place.
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
So your connection with your fathers though, what was that?
That's what I'm talking about. Like my dad died when I was 17. So I haven't had a dad for over 10 years now. His dad 15, but also your dad, you grew up without a dad.
So my mom got married 3 different times to 3 different guys and had 1 kid each with each of those guys.
So it's your half brother.
Yeah, half brother, half sister. I don't really talk to my brother and I don't talk at all. My sister and I are kind of whatever, but like we all have different dads, and I'm so lucky because mine's the one who died, and so I get to be like, my dad's dead. Theirs lives and doesn't talk to them still. What a tragedy, you know?
Fucked up families for sure.
Sucks,
But
dude.
my dad died of cancer. It was more like he got. I mean, this is just a bummer episode.
No,
I'm
dude,
sorry, guys.
honestly, people like to hear it
why I'm
more,
trying to
more
lighten
than
the
just
mood, you know?
but just talking about like comedy shows and shit.
Yeah.
Like
We can do that, for sure.
but I don't know if they like hearing the juicy stuff too.
Our dads are dead.
personal life.
Our brothers
shit.
don't talk to us.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
Struggling financially. And we run a great show.
I'm not struggling
true.
financially.
Yeah, he's
actually.
great.
I'm doing
He's good.
okay.
He's doing
He's
good.
got the Reptar
Thank you.
fucking gear.
Yeah,
son.
my girlfriend bought this, but
You're
yeah.
driving around the city, man.
Yeah.
Interesting move. How do you feel about it? Do you find it's easy to park and it's not
No.
as big a deal as people make it seem?
Well, it is brutal to park in the city. It's, I would say, not overblown by most people who complain about it because it's horrible. But I live in Washington Heights, which is like 176th Street and the West Side.
You find yourself taking the West Side Highway a lot?
Yes, but if I'm going down to Midtown here, work, I take the A train, super easy, express, whatever. But if we have our show every Tuesday in Bushwick, that would be like a 2-hour journey on public transit, which is fucking lame. So
I walk.
Yeah,
Walk
you're
from
close.
Queens. I walk from Sunnyside to Brooklyn every Tuesday.
How far is that? Like an hour walk?
It's an hour. I love it though. It's nice.
No,
Right.
it's great.
Smoking weed and like walking, listening to music.
Right. Exactly.
Like
So you need the car. For me, I need the car because I live in a place that's like somewhat inaccessible by by train for the outer boroughs, and then also road gigs. I get to do
nice.
shows in Atlantic City
Absolutely.
and
Sure.
Connecticut.
Go
We're
with
going
your
up to
boy Benny
Connecticut.
D.
Yeah,
Oh
we're-
yeah. Where are you guys going to Connecticut?
I don't know.
Middletown,
exactly where.
Connecticut.
Middletown,
I don't know the name of the venue, but our boy Selly.
I was there for a wedding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, who got
A
married?
few weeks ago. Nick Hind. Shalom.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Hey,
Nick Hind.
Nikheim, I hope it works out.
Where were you from initially?
Yeah, I was born in the Bronx, but I was raised in a place called Rockland County, which is like on the other side of the Hudson River from Westchester. So not New Jersey.
Was
but
it a
right
boring
near-
town? Like, did other people that get into drugs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Classic suburban town, I would say. Classic. Like, double yellow line streets with the parking lots, the malls, the fucking hanging outside 7-Eleven and smoking weed. I don't know. Very, very classic suburban high school type stuff. A lot of Haitians, though. Not all white. I will say that.
How many black friends did you have?
I had a few.
Like
Irvin, Dano.
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 That's like
Dano,
a
the
white
black
kid's
guy?
name.
No, this guy was not white.
Well, what was he? Was black?
He was Haitian. Like he spoke
Haitian.
like
Damn.
Creole in kindergarten. I remember he didn't like speak English. What about you, man? Where are you from originally?
Dude, I moved to Manhattan when I was 6 weeks old from New Jersey. My parents both got jobs here. My dad in finance and then my mom in advertising. So moved here and then
Do you say the 6 weeks thing?
from 5. Yeah, dude, I do. Just to normalize myself.
To-
Otherwise, I'm like, oh, I'm from Manhattan, born and raised.
right.
I
I caught
normalized
that.
the 6 weeks, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was here from the ages of, like 6 weeks old to 18. Went and played tennis at UConn.
Yeah.
Came back, worked at my dad's company for freaking 6 years, and then now
your
I'm
dad's
here.
company?
Sick.
A real estate company.
Oh, cool.
So like I worked at the company being like property manager, construction, freaking collecting bills and all that shit, invoicing people, whatever.
Utility, man. Just doing
Yeah,
everything.
dude, it was crazy.
cool.
I did that for a long
Long time.
man. So I was gonna fully stop right before the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
like February 2020 came, and I was gonna tell my dad, look, I want to wrap it up. I want to do the Ted Jones comedy show, podcast, vlog full time. Pandemic hit, and then I ended up staying in my dad's company for like another 10 months, just helping him out, trying to regroup, get everything together because it was nuts. As
No,
you can
yeah,
imagine.
that's nice. that you stuck around.
Nobody was paying rent, and I mean. It wasn't a great time to just jump full time into podcast vlogs and comedy shows when there was nothing going on. So I was like, all right, I might as well stay. Ended up staying for almost a year, and then we started doing the show at Asylum, which you came to.
Yeah, that's cool.
and so we've just been doing podcast, vlog, and comedy
Fucking
shows,
sick,
man.
man.
It's been fun,
Nice.
and then more sketches is what I've been getting into recently,
Word.
which I
I think
enjoy doing.
I think you could be doing more though.
Dude, I mean, this is the full-time thing, so I'm ready to start making the billions, bro. So if you know anyone that wants to sign me up, you let me know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I
Dean's
find.
been getting into sketches lately.
Yeah, I mean,
You were in one that popped off, apparently. Yeah.
you know what's kind of cool is I was at New York Comedy Club Halloween party, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody who works there, who's like, he's like in charge of a lot of stuff, and I think he's like respected and stuff. And he's like, hey, I saw you in that sketch. He was like saying it like he was a fan of the people in the sketch. I'm like, and it's so funny. Like, dude, these are like open micers that like if they even knew that like this guy was like saying these things about them, that like because he's saying it like he's a fan of them, because he is a fan of them, but like a lot of these people would never believe that that's the case. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. Oh shit. Sorry,
Is
guys.
that an iPhone ring?
No.
Nah,
is that,
dude.
Android?
That's a real.
Do you have an Android too?
He's got an Android. I got an iPhone. He's
What's it? Are you one of those though, Dean, that thinks that the Android is better than the iPhone? No.
No, I came from no money and I can't afford an iPhone.
Fair enough. That's the proper response if somebody asks you.
Yeah, somebody, hey, if you
iPhone or
got, hey,
Android?
listen, you want to talk to my
he's
mom?
being honest. Most people are
Yeah.
like, no, it's better.
wanna-
It's better. It's got a bigger
But it's
screen,
like-
better
Yeah.
pixels on the
Yeah.
camera.
Do you want to
Right,
talk to
right.
my mom and explain to her why I should have gotten an iPhone when I was 16? And
Like, Mom, I'm getting made fun of over
when
here.
we were putting my brother into the psychiatric ward, you want to explain where the iPhone was supposed to come into my life? You want to explain where that was going? I didn't even get an Xbox, okay? I have an Android because I got a job when I was like 17 and I could afford a phone
What were
on
you
my
doing?
own.
What were you doing when you were 17?
I worked at a movie theater.
In Sunnyside?
No, in Forest Hills. I worked at a movie theater and I made like
Checking tickets?
everything. I was everything in that place. I did all the jobs, and then I got promoted to supervisor to whatever kind of a lame degree. Like just like they call you senior cast member, so it's not like a manager. You're just like in charge of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I bought my first Android, and I was stoked just at the idea that I could listen to music and like have Netflix. Like I was like, guys,
Oh, on your phone?
yeah. I was
Netflix?
like, I used to have a fucking flip phone until I was in college. I had a flip phone, and then I was like, I had a phone that could play YouTube and Netflix, and that was enough for me. And anyone who's got a fucking problem with that can suck my dick.
No, dude, making your own money.
Because like,
You know what's
I've just been
crazy, man?
upgrading the same phone. That's why it's an Android. It's the same exact kind of phone. I've been upgrading
Yeah.
every time. That's why it's the same fucking phone. It's not because I love Android or I think iPhone or something
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's real life.
Every time, man, we're getting a new phone, the screen is getting bigger and bigger, and our screen time is jacking up further and further. It's wild to see how, like, 5 years ago, we were probably on the phone, how much? 2 hours a day? 2.5?
If that, yeah.
Now, there's no shot anybody
2 is
watching or
low.
listening is at this point in the day, whatever time it is during the day, no way you're under 5 hours right now.
Well, some people, I mean, that's a lot.
Well, I mean, bro,
feel like.
every day I feel like people have to be on it over 5 hours.
I
for
think,
sure.
yeah, by the end of the
95%
night.
people, 95%.
It's what
because
we
so
do.
much is it's on the email.
It's and it's not just people that are like like, yes, if you're just like wasting time on social media.
But I think just in general, you have to use your phone.
being productive at work, whatever. You're on the phone all the time.
And you have that new app, or I don't know how new it is, but that feature that's called like Slack, where you just stay on the work office texting signal. Do you know about that, Dean?
Well, Slack is just a version of it, but Microsoft Teams is another version of it.
It's just like the instant messenger between everybody in your office.
Am I dumb in saying this, that like having an app like that's designed to tell you to get off the phone? That's the idea, right? It like tells you.
No. We're talking about something else.
Okay.
But there is that, I think. But no.
Never mind.
What he's talking about is like if you're at work, everyone's fucking messaging each other every 5 minutes because like it's faster than email.
So you just have a consecutive just log.
Insane.
Okay, yeah.
And then you get in these big groups with like 50 other people, and they're sending messages every 5 seconds.
I'm in some of those for some stuff.
Yeah,
I guess those are fine.
No, but I was talking about how that would increase screen time, and then the more so people are just reliant on their phone. And even if you have a day off and you're working from home, like your employer wants to get in touch with you all the time, 12 hours a day for sure.
Yeah, I just try to set limits and not answer when I'm off. I just fucking try.
I set a limit for a couple of my social media apps on my iPhone for hours, but I end up just like extending like 15 minutes each time. It's crazy, man. We're addicted.
I've been posting
habits of addiction creatures.
Yeah,
creatures of habit.
I've been posting lately, just like whenever I feel like it's a good moment. Like I feel like you should post if you're doing comedy.
If you're doing comedy, yeah,
of course. I mean, that's why we do this, right? Like you're doing this to post something later.
100%.
Yeah, this is all.
We'll see, bro. We'll see. Hopefully, we don't say anything homophobic, racist,
right,
or anti-Semitic, and then we're good.
I saw Chappelle, Chris Rock, and Louis on stage
last couple of nights ago.
No,
right?
last night.
And this was interesting.
Were they on stage together?
Together.
All three of them?
All three on stage. It was like seeing, like if you're like a nerd, like seeing like the 3 legendary Pokemon, or like
Charizard,
it was
Mew and
it
Mewtwo.
was crazy. It was like, holy shit.
That is a trifecta.
It's
that
a trifecta.
is like a real.
I was like, what?
Is it a trifecta?
I mean,
what would you call
at least
it?
Of pop culture.
If we put Kevin Hart in place of Louis C.K., then we're talking about trifecta, bro.
I hard disagree.
No way. Are you crazy?
I hard disagree with that.
No, Kevin Hart is like the
I'm not saying
commercial
Kevin Hart's
guy.
not great. He is great.
Kevin Hart's the commercial guy.
He is. He's the Chase Bank.
Yeah, he's Chase Bank guy.
And he signed up for that. He signed that check.
He wants to be that guy. But Chappelle is like the
no, he's not Chappelle.
Chappelle's like the speaker of the people. Louis is like the speaker of the artist, and Chris Rock is like some kind of guy that transformed himself into the highest version of his being. Like he's like Vegeta. That's how I see Chris Rock. I think
Who's Vegeta?
Like he's like in Dragon Ball Z. There's like Goku and Vegeta.
Nerd.
Oh, you're talking about like those
dude.
Pokemon initially.
Well, dude, it's like because that's what Chris Rock actually is, though. He's a guy that like somehow transformed his being. Like something about him from what he was to who he is now is like a guy that's taken in more, and he's like, whatever. Point is though,
yes,
Chappelle is like the kind of guy that like talks a lot, and like he was being super like controlling the conversation, and then Louis and Chris Rock were quiet, and I was watching that, and I was like, interesting, like because the only thing that's cool about these guys is that they talk. So I'm like, what's it? So
that's a good way of putting it.
So like now they're not talking, and I'm like, so what's gonna happen? Like how does this work? And then like Chappelle's like talking to this one guy, and he's kind of blah blah blah, and there's a feeling in the room, and I felt it. And then Louis said, sitting quietly still, he was like this. He's like, if there wasn't a crowd, you're just like a drunk guy talking to a dude. And then everyone laughed. Like it's like somehow he found,
Louis said that about Chappelle. That's great. Yeah,
like Chappelle was being the controlling guy, and he's like dominating it. So and I was wondering like, how are these guys gonna like be funny now and like be themselves, and like are they also gonna have to be like abrasive and try to like, but they don't. Like Louis was just sitting there like saying his perspective on the moment, and then everyone laughed, and it turned. It was like fucking wild, dude. And the comics in the back, we were just like fucking like, it's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I was telling Dean how I got pretty hungover this morning because I had 1.5 drinks last night, bro. I rarely drink. It was crazy, that vodka. I remember I used to be able to drink 8 to 10 drinks in a night, wake up the next day, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
Ready to go to brunch and start doing it all over again. Like those college years, forget about it. Did you go to college?
Of course, yeah.
Where?
I went to Northeastern in
Oh,
Boston.
smarty pants.
I was okay. I was all right.
No, yeah, I remember. I think I could have gone there if I didn't play tennis. My grades were like.
Well, yeah, but you're a fucking college athlete. That's sick. That's really cool.
It was
Are they D1? They're D1.
They're D1. They're D1, bro.
Were you good?
I spent a lot.
I mean, you
of
were
time
good,
in my life doing
obviously.
that, yes,
yeah,
but nowhere near.
What
going
happens like
pro.
with tennis? Yeah, like college tennis is obviously not like massively popular or anything. But then, do the college tennis like the elite guys from there? Do they go pro? Like, how does that? What's the pipeline to becoming a pro?
In the last few years, like last 3 to 5 years, there's been like a slew of 3 to 5 guys that have been able to make it out and start being in like the top 100 of the world. But before that, no. Like if you went to college 5 years ago to play tennis, it was basically saying you were not going to go pro. Like the difference between, you know, a football and a basketball and a baseball, you go to college and you get drafted to the majors.
Well, baseball's not like that, actually. Baseball, a lot of the guys skip college, go straight to single A ball. Well, and the guys that go to college actually are behind the 8 ball.
But if you did go to college, you still have a good chance of going pro, right? But like tennis, not at all. So
really?
Like,
well, it's a global sport, which is...
Exactly. So like basketball and football, very Americanized. You go to college and then you get drafted. So when I was 14 years old, I was homeschooled for tennis because I wanted to try and potentially compete on the, you know, the circuit when I was older.
So you were homeschooled for tennis.
Yeah.
You mean you were homeschooled...
I was privately tutored.
So that you didn't have to go to school.
You had a tennis court in your house?
No, I would travel to Queens, Long Island City.
Oh. So how's it really homeschooled if you're not even...
So I was privately tutored. So I would see a tutor 3 hours a day.
Instead of going to school.
Isn't privately tutored different than homeschooled?
No, it's basically the same thing.
No, it's the same thing.
Isn't homeschooled like your parents are doing it and a private tutor
I mean,
anyone's doing it?
It's basically...
Don't we have different words for different reasons?
I don't think we did back then, though. Dude, that's 15 years ago, dude. It was all homeschooled back then.
Home.
You're right.
So the word home doesn't make sense in the whole thing. It's not.
Bro, I don't think anyone's ever given me a hard time about that.
I know. Why are you giving him a hard time? Why are you giving...
I was privately tutored. That's what I've said.
Okay,
I was privately tutored.
Well, because it painted the picture that you were home playing tennis.
It's like 8 times 8. 64, Mom.
So you did it so that you had more time to play tennis.
Exactamundo, Raymundo. I'd be up freaking 5:30 in the morning.
Man.
I'd be on the tennis court.
That's pretty cool.
By 6:30 to 8:30. Then I'd be running in Astoria by 9:30 on that track in Astoria Park.
Yeah.
And then I'd have school from 12 to 3. Then I'd go work out from 4 to 5 and then go play tennis again for 2 hours a day with the group.
Cool.
It was crazy. It was very cool.
Crazy.
I was absolutely blessed to do it, but it really had an effect on my social life, man. Talk about getting bullied. That was one of the worst years of my life in terms of getting bullied. I had lumps of acne on my face. I had to take Accutane.
Oh, yeah,
Didn't have
Accutane.
friends, man.
Accutane makes you want to kill yourself, right?
Yeah,
What happened?
I was good.
You didn't have the side effects.
No, I'm still here. I'm still
That's
fucking
good.
breathing.
That's good, dude. That's
no, but
good.
maybe, I think I was depressed. I was just, it was like a cold, dark time in my life. I was waking up at 6 a.m., not winning tournaments like I wanted to. And it was just difficult because I switched from baseball to tennis. I had to decide when I was like 12 years old because I was the MVP in Little League and baseball, and I was like really good at tennis. I just switched to tennis, bro. And now
What made you pick tennis?
That sounds so hard.
I didn't want people fucking messing up. I didn't want people messing up.
Oh, you wanted the individual sport.
I wanted to mess
You didn't
up.
like the whole team sport
No,
thing.
not really. I like basketball and base. I liked it, but
But you had to rely on other people.
Exactly, and I fucking hated that.
It's very telling.
Yeah, well, I
very
mean, bro,
telling.
that's why we're comics, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Individual type speakers,
Sure.
whatever.
Sure.
Selfish.
I'm
maybe.
learning about you. I like it.
Selfish, yeah, dude.
Are you selfish? Or
I don't think he's selfish.
No, I mean, it's a selfish type mindset, man.
I suppose.
And I feel like I'm selfish. We all got to kind of be selfish, right?
For sure, but I think that obviously
Depends
there's a
how far your
negative
selfishness-
connotation with the word selfish.
No, I'd say it in a positive
I think
manner.
Dean doesn't realize how selfish he actually is.
Oh my god! What the hell? Fuck you, man.
No, I'm just saying you live for yourself. You do comedy. It's a very individual thing
Yeah, I'm also living to create a better life for myself.
for yourself.
Yeah, but I've had like such a bad life. I want to have like a decent one.
That's great.
So but it's selfish.
I'm saying the negative connotation associated with selfish is what's tripping you up.
Yeah,
but
dude. I think
it's not bad to
selfish
be
and
selfish.
homeschooled in the
Yeah.
past 10 years have switched meanings.
That's right. They're just
But I'm saying selfish, like bad selfish.
shoes on
this
the
is
other
a
head.
good way.
Head?
Yeah, shoes off in the fucking apartment.
shoes off. Yeah. That's my guma over there. You know what that means?
What is
It's
that,
something
Italian?
Italian.
It's
I
just
think.
it's your
guma.
It's your whore. It's not your wife. It's your guma, which is your other woman.
You guys have so much in common. It's crazy.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Would you guys just mind making out for the viewers and listeners just on the podcast?
We've kissed a bunch.
We have kissed on stage.
We've kissed on stage and off stage. And
Yeah. Well, off stage.
yeah, there's a
Dino
photo of us
pipes.
kissing.
Apparently.
What do you mean?
That's true.
You were kissing me in the photo. It's even more evident. We'll post. I'll show you.
Oh, that's a Parafan show where they asked us to do that.
Well, yeah, but
You gonna send it?
I can send it
You
to
can
you.
send it.
So
Send it,
for
post
like
it.
You know, you can,
Pop it up. Here it is. These two kissing.
yeah.
And
I'll
if,
send-
And you
if
can
we didn't,
see-
if you don't fucking see it right here, Dean didn't send it to me, but I'm sure he did.
I'm
Here
gonna send
is.
it to you.
All right, pop it up. It's right here.
I hope you
Beautiful.
do actually pop it up, and you can
I will.
see in the photo how he's kissing me more than I'm kissing him.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Because he's gay.
His beard's
I
just all
don't
luscious
know why
on your lips.
everyone's so worried about being gay.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, it's fine.
I'm
Seems
not.
pretty
Whip it out, bro.
homophobic
Whip
to
it
me.
out.
That's gay.
Women can get away with more lesbian stuff. That's
Yes.
for sure. Sleeping together in sleepovers, like it's totally normal. They do it
Yeah.
all the time.
Who has that
when they're
joke
little on.
Someone has that joke. It's like if two girls make out, it's like no big deal. But if two dudes make out, it's like don't even talk. Like you can't just be like.
Is that somebody's joke though?
I think so.
I don't know if that's
I don't
someone's
know.
joke.
I
never
feel like
heard
that's
that.
a known
Like two girls.
thing.
Oh well, I
But you gave him credit
heard it
for
as
the
a joke.
Yeah.
I guess at one point, but it's
True.
true.
I was saying, yeah.
You're saying the same thing. Like women
Kinda.
can be gay and it's okay.
Like I was the first guy to
Everyone
put
likes
fingers in my friends' butts when I was 13 to 14.
Really?
And like all my friends thought that was funny, so they started doing it fast.
I remember I used to get babies. Okay, so something that's fucked up about my life that I remember when I was a kid, my mom would leave me with this babysitter. Like she would go somewhere, I'd be left with this babysitter.
Right.
Standard.
Yeah, that seems normal so far.
But no, we hated being there because they would like treat us really. I mean, me and my brother, they would treat us really badly. Like first of
Who's they? It was one or more than one?
here's one good memory to depict all of the story, like the whole thing. One day we didn't even want to go with the babysitter, so we like purposefully were taking a long time to like we were making her wait for us to like leave the house because we just really didn't want to go with her. And then we see she's gone, like she left, so she didn't. And for some reason, instead of just staying home, my brother and I went to her house and like to go to be babysat by her. This is like this is crazy. And I remember that they put us in a room downstairs. It was really dark and they made us watch TV, like a black and white little TV. And they separated me and my brother and they offered me like the bigger TV with the nice room. And then they made him go there to be alone. This is fucked up. I remember being left alone in the house with not knowing where I was or who was with me. I remember standing outside of their house, like alone in the street, like waiting for like some person to walk by because I didn't know where anybody was. And I remember them giving me like a toy. And then like I looked back up and then everybody was gone. It was a horse toy. And I remember that the Pokemon movie was in my head. That's all, because I remember watching the Pokemon movie. So like I used to be thinking about Pokemon while there. And I remember there was like another kid one time. He wasn't my brother. He was like another kid named Mark. It was crazy. It was like a whole crazy bunch of stuff. And this one fucked up memory of like we were gonna see my mom or whatever, but like then they told me we weren't gonna see her, and they like dragged me away. It was fucked up. And like
I don't know. I feel like your child brain might be indicting these babysitters a little more than
my mom even told us like she was like she hated
They
those
were weird
people.
babysitters?
That they were. She was like,
Were they physically like rough with you guys?
They literally put us in like a dark room.
Well, why in a dark room? That's what I'm confused
I don't know.
about.
I don't know. They
Some people get power trips, man, when they're babysitters.
Damn.
I feel like,
Yeah, it
you
was
know,
really
like
fucked.
a 16-year-old taking care of like a 7-year-old. That dynamic could be weird. I feel, how old were they?
were really old, like Russian people.
Oh, they were old. They were like full grown adults.
Yeah. Full grown
Weird.
adults.
Sputnik shit.
Yeah. And like they made us watch like bootleg Tom and Jerry kind of things. It was fucking weird, dude.
Damn, you've had a weird life.
I know. It's been so crazy, dude.
On a lighter note, when's the first time you guys smoked weed? You never smoked weed.
Ooh,
15.
I was 13 or 14.
Yeah, I think I was probably 13 or 14. 14 probably.
Yeah.
Did you get high?
I got really high, and everyone says you don't get high the
No,
first
I
time.
didn't.
Yeah. Well, I remember my older brother was like, no, you got to really smoke this blunt because you're not going to get high the first time. So I like took it seriously. I was like, okay. I was like breathing in twice. I was like, I have to get high, you know? And
I can't imagine that was fun.
it took about an hour, and after about an hour, all I remember was I was lying down near the toilet because that felt good compared to anything else. Standing up, walking, sitting down felt like my entire world was like turned upside down. I had no idea time was going by so fast and slow. I was extremely bugging out at 14. But I did like the cold porcelain of the toilet bowl on my head.
But you almost got arrested for smoking weed one time. You were saying.
Oh yeah. I was, this was a couple of years after that. I was caught red-handed in Rockland County, New York. We were in the spot, we used to call it. It was just this fucking place that it was just this road that nobody went down. So we thought we were geniuses. We were like, yeah, we just pull up here and smoke. It's our spot, you know? And fucking, of course, someone fucking tipped someone off that we were going there like every day for like months. So I guess someone didn't like it. I don't know if it was someone that lived on the street or something. Yeah, maybe. And they were waiting for us. And they were like, hey, why don't you guys step out the car and all this stuff? And we were like, oh, officer, we didn't do anything wrong, all this stuff. But I'm like fucking 16 years old. I just got my license. Like, so I get duped into walking outside the car. I probably shouldn't have left the car. And they searched our car and caught us with like a half ounce of weed. Not like a crazy amount.
Bro, for a 16-year-old, that's a decent amount of weed.
They were like, oh, is this intent to sell? And I was like, nah, we're smoking all of it, dude. So, I mean...
He's like, I'm going to sit here while you smoke this entire bag of Super Troopers.
It was very white privilege-y. They basically just said, like, we're going to call your parents. You're gonna, like, they were hard on us in terms of, like, verbiage. Like, they were, like, yelling at us and stuff. But ultimately, what they did was they just called our parents and had our parents pick us up, which my mom was obviously, like, very upset. So, like, it did suck. But obviously, like, if I was a black kid, I probably would have went to jail. And that would have been on my record. And so, yeah, that's definitely fucked up that happens. But
you have any scares with the law? Does it not weed related in general?
When I was, I think I was like 16, my friends and I climbed into MetLife Stadium.
What?
Or not MetLife. Maybe
that's where the Giants play.
Yeah.
Like the New
not
York
MetLife
Giants?
Stadium.
Jersey?
City Field.
City Field, yeah, but you climbed into it.
We hopped a fence and...
Oh, right.
Was this Shea Stadium back when it was Shea? Oh, City Field.
City Field, yeah.
Wait, bro, so within like the last 5 years?
No,
it might have been Shea. I think you were 16?
Yeah.
Well, you know, he's pretty young. He's pretty young. That was like 9-10 years ago. We'll look it up. Hey, you know what? I'll look it up.
Yeah, exactly.
It was in Flushing. The one in Flushing.
Yeah, City Field. Well,
City Fild.
Yeah, they might have both been, but go ahead.
Either way, the point is my friends and I snuck in. We climbed up the fence and snuck in. And my friend, he's a sneaky guy. He got a copy of the car key for a golf cart. And so we snuck in
the what?
Wait, he stole a key of the golf cart
and he made a copy of a key. And
wow, that's actually kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
So he had gone to a baseball game earlier, stole a golf cart key, and then went back after hours.
And we snuck in, like we hopped up front and we had the key and we drove a fucking golf cart, like in City Field after hours, just us.
Not on the field, around the stadium.
Like around the stadium.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, and then...
You got in trouble for this?
No, we didn't get in trouble, dude. We saw people coming, and we just fucking drove and climbed and ran, and we got away with it, and it was fucking sick.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I mean, I have nothing like that. We used to hop on the roof of the movie theater, though,
dude,
and we thought
you
that
know
was
my friend
cool.
Lewis? You know Lewis, right?
He's a nice guy, and he's a filmmaker.
Yeah, and when we were 14, imagine him then, like the kind of person he is.
Yeah.
I brought him around some scary people.
Oh, no.
We were like hanging out at, like in the train station of Forest Hills, the LIR, so it was like upstairs. My friend literally took out a fucking like blade, like a knife, and he shoved it into a door, so like in through a lock, so that we can
fucking scary
so
shit,
that we could
dude.
Sneak in to like this guy's
conductor booth.
Yeah, and then we just closed the door on us, and we just smoked. We hotboxed it, and I was with Lewis, and then like.
Oh my god, Lewis must have been shitting his pants.
I think it took him
That's
like
hilarious.
it took him till recently. This is like 10 years later for him to be like, that was the scariest day of my life.
Hotboxing the conductor booth at the LIRR.
Dude, with a guy with a knife.
Was the guy on lunch
just going
break?
based on solely my like trust me, these guys are cool, and he's got a knife because they were cool. They're my buddies. Like they wouldn't hurt us, but like
That's
you know,
hilarious.
knives and stuff. So.
Yeah, you really grew up in like the outer, like a city. You're a city kid from like not Manhattan.
Yeah,
like from a rough kind of area.
My area is a bit rough, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
We have friends of ours that I've heard say on stage they've never been in fights.
Yeah,
and I've heard them say it recently, and I'm like, wow, like I had no idea that like
people grew up not getting in fights.
Yeah, like I'm like I've had so many fights, or like Dude, at the comedy shop, I was at a mic, and this comic, this is recently, he just like his name got called, so he just like ran. Like that was his bit. It's like he just was sitting and he like, ran.
What an annoying.
It was it was really obnoxious and annoying. No offense to the dude. And then like he smashed tables and I like outward.
Wait, dude, I think I may have seen this one guy.
I'm sure you have.
Dude, like the guy, he literally would like slam chairs. This one guy.
No, it was his way up to the stage.
This was years, no, months ago. I saw this.
He
guy.
did it like recently, and then I was I outwardly was like, jeez, like I really was afraid. And I went up on stage and I was like, dude, I had no idea that like I had a belief in this room that things like that could not happen.
Yeah, you felt more safe than you were.
Yeah, I was like, dude, now I know violence occurs everywhere. Like it was such a violent image. Like he was like crashing things and making loud noises. It was like so
fucking weirdo. Man.
Violence, man, more
crazy.
apparent than ever, bro. Gun violence. Any of your boys have guns that you?
No, I've never had a gun, but I
like
have
guns.
shot one before.
Like the range or in general.
Yeah, no, I have my brother. No, like it's just home.
I have my brother's
I killed
enemies.
my parents. No, I fucking shot at I shot at a gun range before once, but it's a pretty cool feeling.
I like BB guns. Those are cool.
Yeah, I've used those too. Those
BB guns are cool. I shot my friend with a BB gun.
That's not cool, man.
I know. My brother pointed a BB gun at me. My brother also had swords. Go figure. I mean, this
And
guy.
knives.
Yeah.
All nerds have swords.
I know. I was like, dude, if I get killed by a sword,
for everything.
I was like, if my brother kills
a
me
good
with a
t-shirt.
sword,
Yeah, all nerds have swords. It's true. And they all like katana, and they all play Settlers
Hey.
of Catan, the board
Dude,
game.
on the wall.
dude,
Yeah,
that's
just a bunch of
so
dorky
true.
dorks,
That's
dude.
my life. Like 2 years ago, I was playing Catan.
Yeah, Settlers of Catan. My girlfriend plays that shit.
Catan is fun when you're like
No, it's fine. I'm just saying they're obsessed with it. There's
Yeah.
a difference.
Do you
Yeah.
live with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I do. We moved in a few months ago.
Oh,
First
very
time I'm living
nice.
with a lady.
Oh my god, your house. Oh my god,
We have
his house.
we have a nice apartment.
Do you want to explain what your house used to look like?
I'm bad at when I was living by myself. Was pretty messy, pretty dirty.
Pretty
You're
messy,
like a
pretty
hoarder?
dirty.
You the hoarder?
Not a hoarder. Just
the picture.
really bad at taking care of my space, basically.
So
like
it's
just
hoarding,
leaving,
kinda.
I guess, but not like collecting things or
right,
holding on to them. Like just not organizing
worse.
things at all.
Like a lot of sweatshirts
just
there,
like
t-shirts
randomly
there,
thrown
socks
about.
there.
Yeah, really bad. It
It's
was
like,
bad.
Imagine the inside of a garbage can.
It was okay. Yeah,
That was his house.
It was pretty bad. Here's what I say. It was to the point that we used to do the podcast. We used to do the podcast with me and Peter, and we would do it at my place. And every guest we brought over, every one of them mentioned it within the first 2 minutes of the podcast. They would be like, "This place is disgusting. What are you guys doing?" And I would have like pizza boxes behind me, and I'm
This
just
place
like,
is.
yeah, man, it was fucking stupid, dude. I was so stupid. Like I would use a toothbrush, right? And like then like, you know, after 4 months or whatever, you're like, all right, I need a new toothbrush.
sure, get a new one.
I should have just, what am I doing? Like put the toothbrush in a bag, throw it out. You know what I mean?
Why do you have to put it in a bag before you throw it
Or
out?
whatever. Just get
Throw
it
it
out of
out,
there. Throw it
yeah.
out. I would just like throw the toothbrush in the cabinet and be like, all right, it's just done. I'm not going to use it again. That's the level of how lazy and stupid I was
So
when I was
your
living by
girl
myself.
now is-
Oh, it's perfect.
She
dude.
cleans up after you? Or you've
No,
gotten
we
better?
clean together. I find that if you're in a relationship, you have to do the things you're bad at, and they have to do the things they're bad
Yeah,
at.
50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. And then your
100,
strengths
100.
have to help theirs. You know, it's all a symbiotic kind of thing, you know? So I have a very big deficiency in organization. I'm not organized at all. Mentally, physically, everything.
Well, you got here today, which was great.
Yeah, I was
Girls
late.
will help you see what your life looks like.
Yeah, that's true.
Girls will,
Once you
good.
fully figure it out, I think.
Well, when you date a girl, when a girl sees your living situation, like they're learning so much about you.
Yeah.
And because you are able to understand what they think, you will then learn what they see, and then you'll change. I mean, you know, there's a reason you don't do that anymore, I'm assuming, you know?
No, I have a motivation though now. Now I'm not just living by myself. See, it's a psychological thing. When I was living by myself in this small studio apartment, I would just constantly be like, what am I cleaning up for? I'm fine with this. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I actually don't give a shit about myself in most scenarios.
That's not a good thing.
I know. Probably not.
I
but
can't believe
I
I'm
truly
hearing this.
don't.
I can't believe I'm hearing this from like.
But now
my
with the
buddy
girlfriend, that I live with, she has to live there too. So I'm motivated to clean the sink, clean the bathroom, whatever, because she's got to take a shit there eventually.
God
Sorry.
forbid.
Sorry, Crystal.
Eventually.
You know, but
ask-
like, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, let me ask you a question
exactly,
though.
you're right.
God forbid you guys separated. Would you keep to the standard of living you have, or would you go back to the
It wouldn't be as tip top as it is now, but it'd be much better than it was.
Okay.
Because I've learned a lot.
That's good. That's good. As long as you're doing it for yourself at the end of the day. Like, as long as you're like,
Well, I'm in the relationship for myself too. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
it's kind of both things at the same time.
what do you think, Ted?
I mean, power to you, man. You're improving.
I think so.
Sounds
You have a
your
nice
girlfand's
place.
improving. Thank you, man.
Your place is great. man.
This is all,
guys. I
tip top
appreciate
shit.
it.
They got tennis
Yeah.
stuff and
Yeah, got a lot of things, but I feel like if one other person was in this apartment with me, might not work.
the placement
Really?
of that.
You don't think so?
I don't know, man. I just have
a-
I have a lot of shit in
Yeah.
crevices.
Well, you know what? A girl living here would not be okay with some of the stuff, like the wires just being down there.
Yeah, I would tell her to
Yeah.
get out of here unless you're gonna cut the wires and make it go wireless.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Guys, this has been an amazing podcast. You guys have anything to shout out before
Yeah.
we get out of here?
Yeah.
Anything exciting coming up at the end of the year? What are you guys working on?
There you go.
End of the year.
Well, here's what I'll say.
Through the,
I'll
through
tell you
the end
this.
of the year. Through the end
Well,
of the year.
I'll say that.
Plug the show.
Yeah, first of all,
Yeah.
we run this show called Aggressively Chill every Tuesday.
Great show,
in
guys.
Bushwick.
Every Tuesday at 8:30 at Gold Sounds in Bushwick. 8
Yeah.
o'clock doors, 8:30 show.
Yeah, come at 8 o'clock.
And we
Don't
have
be
comics
late.
from the Comedy Cellar, from the Stand, from all over the country, actually, even the world.
Ted
We had
Jones
some English
Comedy
people.
Show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a fun vibe. We're also going to be starting up. Not to speak too soon, should I say? Like,
Yeah, we're probably going to be doing an Aggressively Chill podcast.
yeah.
as an
If you're wondering,
accompanying-
yeah, like our future plans, podcast, maybe a special of mine for real this time.
Yeah.
I need to get it done. Stick to my word and have a special for you guys. So follow us on Instagram. I'm Dean David 95. That's Alex Pischera.
Pischera. But check out Aggressively Chill Comedy, just spelled like that, right?
Hell yeah.
On Instagram.
Aggressively Chill Comedy on Instagram.
On Instagram. That's the one to follow. I mean, you can follow Dean if you want, but he's cute.
Follow Alex too.
I don't care.
This is how he is.
Guys, this was an amazing episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, listening. Leave a little like, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for having us.
Peace. Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Bye.